Hey everyone, welcome back to our series. Today we're going to do a little bit of deviation from how we have been focusing on specific things because the next phase in handling CTFs gets broad really quick. And I was kind of debating on what path to go with this, whether just to find a list of boxes on Try and Hack Me and go through each one of them, highlights kind of different things to look for and stuff like that. But then I thought, if you really are new to this, you kind of need a basis for understanding what it is you're looking for before you go and hunt for it. And then at work this week in one of our Slack channels, someone posted to us, something I've forgotten about, that the company PortSwigger, the company behind Burp Suite, has a free academy. And so I made an account and I looked through it a little bit, and I think that it's probably going to be a good route for a lot of you to go through. Even if you're familiar with some of the basic things and stuff like that, it still probably wouldn't hurt to go through. And I'll pull it up and show you a few features about it and talk about some things I like. Now, I could have gone to some walkthroughs from Try Hack Me, but I find that, for one, different people have different ways they like to learn. And just because two people both learn well by, say, reading, some people do better at a simplistic overview and can run through things and understand them pretty well. Other people like to have more detail-oriented. So even in the same method of learning, there could be variation. So that's why I like kind of reaching out to other sites, seeing what they have to offer and trying them out and see if I can learn some stuff from them. So with all that said, let's switch over to my browser. Let's go take a look at this PortSwigger Academy. Okay, so here we are. And I'll have a link down to this in the description, so don't worry about it. I've got signed in here, and this is the landing page for the Academy. As you can see, we got dashboard, learning paths, all this stuff up here. And I kind of like this right off the bat. I already like this. New topic, web cache deception. And you kind of look through it, and it's based off a presentation that was given at Black Hat this year. So that's kind of cool. They're already incorporating new things from conferences and stuff that's been talked about. A little bit further down here, I like this, your learning progress. Right off the bat, not sure where to start. Here's our learning path, so you can pick one. That's pretty good, especially for newbies who really don't have a clue what they're doing or where they should start. Something like that has learning paths up front. Really great. And just to show I've not done anything with this account, you can see level progress, zeros across the board, and my level is a newbie. Haven't done any of the vulnerable labs. I'm kind of looking forward to that after peeking around a bit. Exam preparation steps. Now this is something I think is very interesting. The labs you choose to complete must be practitioner level or higher. And the reason why I like this, and this over here, to let you know if you're certification ready or not, is because they actually do offer a certification for Burp Suite. So if you like using the tool and you want to showcase that you are proficient with the tool and know what you're doing, maybe looking into getting their certification isn't a bad thing for you. And this little academy here can kind of help gauge when you're ready for that. That's kind of nice. So up here, we'll click on this and take a look at their learning paths. They have a bunch of different ones. API testing, CSRF, clickjacking, cross-origin, SQL injection, one of my favorites, non-SQL injections, which is interesting that you do. Race conditions, I'm learning a bit more about and get some more experience with here myself. I understand the concept, but I haven't actually done a lot of practice with doing the code and stuff for it, so that's kind of interesting. And then path traversal, really good one. Follow load vulnerabilities, one of my favorites. And then this one I noticed was the only one in Apprentice, server-side vulnerabilities. Figured this would probably be the one that I'm going to start with. So you can click on view path, and you can see right off the bat, it's got you doing path traversal. And it shows you kind of outline what is path traversal, reading arbitrary files and then gives you a lab. So I kind of like this. This kind of reminds me a bit of Hack the Box Academy, which also has some really great beginner stuff. If you want a structured path for learning a lot of the basics and stuff, I would say Hack the Box Academy, or from what I've seen so far, PortSwigger Academy. Now, don't get me wrong, Try Hack Me has some good paths and has a lot of good learning and stuff like that. It's just having done some Hack the Box Academy and done the pathways and Try Hack Me, I like the detailedness in the Hack the Box Academy. So if you're more detail oriented in your learning, I would say go that route. If you want something that's a good little overview to help just kind of get the concepts, the Try Hack Me ones are pretty good. So this week I'm going to go through a few of these and kind of see where it lands in between those two, or which one is more like. Today is just kind of a introductory to it, and we may take a look at this first one here. But there was one thing that did lead me to checking this out, is in that Slack channel, I talked with a couple of people who have gone through a lot of this, and they said that one thing's nice is that it helps to focus on what's called the OWASP Top 10. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's a top 10 listing of 10 most common vulnerabilities, and I'll put that in quote and I'll explain here in a second why. But this is actually a really good resource to kind of help focus your learning on what attacks are going to be common out there. So if you're wanting to do CTFs, if you're wanting to get into pen testing, like this is 10 categories that you should focus on. You can sit there and go from the most common to the least common and just have a checklist, basically, what you need to learn. So the reason why I put it in quotes is, one, it's not a year-to-year updated list. And that makes a lot of sense because in the cybersecurity world, there's a ton of attacks every year. And yes, there's new stuff every year that comes out, but that doesn't mean it's common. There's a difference. This list on the OWASP Top 10 is focused on common things, basically. So what's common doesn't really change year to year. When I was going through this and looking at it a little bit earlier to refresh my memory on what the current set is, I'd forgotten that it was 2017 they did a list, and that's what I originally trained on. And then in 2021, they updated it. And they're actually going to be updating it, as you can see right here, at the beginning of 2025. So you see there's several years in between each of the updates. So what does the current list look like? Well, this is kind of nice. They show you the 2017 set, and they show you how things changed in the 2021. So this is kind of nice because it gives you an overview of, between these few years, what's been more active, what have attackers been going after more. From a defense perspective, it's great because then you can say, hey, these are the things that we know that people are going after more. I need to spend time focused on them, make sure I've got those things secure. As an attacker, hey, more people are focused on these. That must mean there must be a lot of vulnerabilities out there for it. Let me learn about it and get that in my tool bag. So this is great for both sides. So as you can see in the current list, broken access control, top's number 1, cryptographic failures, injections, insecure design. Like, if you've been going through TryHackMe for a little while, a lot of this stuff you should already know and already be thinking about boxes you've done before that had this type of stuff. And then down here, they actually give you links to each category, so you can kind of click on it, go through it, see some stuff about it, and learn more about it. And again, I'll leave a link in the description to this page. Speaking of TryHackMe, since we mostly focus on that here right now, went over, typed in OWASP, see what comes up. So as you can see here, here's the original OWASP top 10 room that I did, and I looked at it, and it's a little over 4 years old. So it came out right before the 2021 update. And they do have a newer room that was based off 2021 list. I haven't done that one yet. I may see if I can get that done this week. But you see, they have some different rooms dedicated to the different things, and including this one that I probably should do. I haven't really used OWASP Zap. If you're not familiar with it, the Zap program is basically like Burp Suite, if I can say it right, but it's made by OWASP. And I've seen some people use it. It looks interesting. And just like any applications, it has its pluses and minuses. It has its things that people argue are better than Burp Suite, but it has areas where it seems to be a little bit weaker. That's just the nature of applications. So it's just one of the things that I don't consider one better than the other. I just consider them both tools and would like to kind of learn how to use Zap so I can use them in conjunction or kind of figure out where there's cases where one's better to use than the other. But yeah, if you really want to kind of use this OWASP as kind of a guide to cover your bases on what to learn, type OWASP into the search and you get a plethora of rooms. As you can see down here, came back with 46 pages, plenty of stuff to go over. All right, so I'm going to go take a look at this path traversal and check it out, and I'll be back with my thoughts about it. Alrighty. So here we're back. As you see, I completed the path traversal. The reading was pretty straightforward. I liked it. It was simplistic, but it gave you enough information that you could understand what a path traversal is. So on that side, so in that aspect, I would say it does lean a bit more toward the stuff from TryHackMe. And after doing this first lab, it's kind of hard to say which way it leans. I kind of say it falls a bit into the middle, but maybe leaning a little bit more toward TryHackMe. If you've ever done any of the stuff at Hack the Box Academy, you kind of get what I'm having a hard time here. As you can see, got the lab solved. Now, one thing I like about this is up at the top here, it shows you that you've done 3 out of 52. And on your progress side here, it shows you which one you're currently working on and what step out of that you're on as well. So click Access the Lab, takes the page a minute to load up, and then I installed Burp Suite on my Ubuntu here. Surprised I didn't have it already installed because I didn't know if that was going to be needed for this or not. But it's actually not, and it's actually pretty simple. All I have to do is go to View Page Source, and scroll down, and eventually you will see here, because in the reading it makes a reference to the image file name API call. And you can see we got one right here. And then all I did was click on it, and you see it brings up the image here. All we got to do is just put in our change directories to go up the tree, and I usually put about 4 or 5 just to make sure I get all the way back up. Then etc password, and the page loads like that. If you come back over here, You refresh it, then you'll see that it's marked solved, and you get a congratulations. So it's kind of a neat one because some past traversal vulnerabilities are evident in the address bar up here. However, this one, you have to know how to look at the HTML, find it, and then be able to do it that way, which I think is really great. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of the easy boxes on TryHackMe that use file path traversal often will have it showcased in the address bar so it's easier to see. But in real world applications, this is more of what you're going to have to do to use that vulnerability and to exploit it. So I kind of like this a little bit better than that. I will give it points over both Hack the Box and TryHackMe because it doesn't use virtual servers or any boxes you have to spin up. It literally just loads a web page, gives you your own session and cookie and everything, so that way, you know, you can work on it, you can complete yours. I do like that. It makes it a lot more accessible and makes it easier for you to do it wherever you're at on the go, because theoretically you could do this on a mobile device since it's all on the web. Depends on the browser you have on your mobile device, really. All right, and before we wrap up, I just wanted to bring you back here to the main page for the Academy landing. Okay, and before we wrap up, I just wanted to bring you back to the main landing page for the Academy here and just show you that, you know, it does track that we are doing a path, shows you the overall progress, what it is, stuff like that. Shows that we have completed one lab, and since it is the apprentice level, it's not going to count for any of this stuff down here, which makes sense. You know, apprentice, you're just learning, getting your fillers. If you want something that's free that covers a lot of basic web vulnerabilities that you're going to need to know and that you want to get experience with, and maybe something that's easily accessible for you not only on your machine but maybe on the go, definitely check PortSwigger out. I think they have a pretty good thing here, and I'm definitely going to be playing around some of it over the next month and see if I can get this one completed and let you know my thoughts when it's done. But if I come across any of its other little labs that I think are good, I will definitely make a video showcasing about it, talking about it, and there may be a few videos from this for sure in this series. So look forward to that. All right, so that's all for today. Like I said, I kind of wanted to find something that could help focus on making sure you have all your bases covered as we go into this next phase of learning how to approach CTFs, because the recon phase is fairly straightforward and simple. You have a few tools that you do some stuff with, kind of get your base of what you're working with, and off of that, it's kind of the direction you need to go. The second phase, trying to gain a foothold, is so widespread. There's so many different things out there that it can become really overwhelming trying to figure out the next step. So I don't want to rush through this next part. I want to try to make sure that we take time to cover as much stuff as possible. But yeah, so let me know down below. What do you think of this website? Have you made an account? Tried it out? Have you done it before? Have you gone through and completed these? Have you taken the certification test for the burp sweep? But I hope you all had a good day. Hope you learned a little something. Hope you got encouraged to try something new out. We'll see you next time.